Mirage is one of the most notable maps in all of Counter-Strike history, often being referred to as Dust 3. In fact, it gets played the most out of any map both on matchmaking and third-party platforms like Faceit and ESCA. So knowing it well is a surefire way to reach the higher ranks no matter where you decide to play. Hey ProGuides fam, my name is Boggs and today I'm bringing you 10 tips on Mirage to help you improve. Remember to like and subscribe, and to not waste any more time, let's jump right into it. Now everyone likes to get instant gratification, so here's a smoke I'm willing to bet you didn't know. Above T-side ramp on A site, there's two pillars sticking out of the wall. Looking above the pillar on the left side, you will see a white outline. Aim slightly to the left of that, and jump throw the smoke as you pass triple. Now before I go into full detail on what this smoke is used for, this is an old smoke. GobB is credited for using it in a game where Big was going against Sprout in the 2019 Cologne Minor. But I'm here to say, I have seen this smoke and known about it since 2015. It's old, so if you ever want to spook an older player, you may want to pull this out of your bag. The reason being, it's a one-way. This smoke allows you to see the top of scaffolding where players are usually setting up smokes to take the A bomb site. But once again, you can see them, and they can't see you. Generally, if I ever see this smoke, it becomes an immediate backup and wait for it to clear. And another thing to note, it is usually paired with a molly of some sort to help CTs gain control of ramp. So pushing it is usually a bad idea as well. Now if this smoke was pretty big for you and you feel like knowing more of them would really help you out, consider booking a session with one of our many great coaches over on ProGuides.com. All of them are very eager to help you out, and by asking them for go-to plays, you can learn a whole lot. But even if you're struggling with something else entirely or just want to improve the fastest way possible, our coach has got your back as well. So make sure to drop by our website after watching the rest of this video. Now first of all, this map is designed in the cloverleaf fashion. So generally you have a path from each spawn leading directly to bomb site B and one leading to bomb site A. Now the cloverleaf comes into play as these maps generally have a midsection with routes leading to each bomb site. These rotations somewhat resemble a cloverleaf, hence the name. On maps with this type of design layout, it is highly advised to take control of the middle section, just because that allows for you to have quick and easy access to whatever site you decide to go to. Or, in the CT's case, it denies the enemy team from attacking from unsuspecting angles. Splitting bomb sites through both mid and main is a solid way to consistently have success on your executes. And even if you don't end up splitting, the threat of it being a possibility forces your opponents to play a lot fewer and more passive angles, in order to deal with the map control lost. Take control of the middle section on the maps like Mirage, Cache, and Dust 2. It will help you win more games. Now before we continue, it's time for our question of the day. How long have you been playing CSGO? How many hours have you racked up? Maybe just a couple hundred, couple thousand. I personally raked in over 4,000 hours, but that may not be the same as you. Let us know in the comment section below just how many hours you've spent playing CSGO. And with that, let's hop back into the video. Now, this next one is something I use all the time, and it's self-boosting on top of triple. This is an angle that many players aren't really aware of, and even if they are, it's rarely checked. Clearing the exact headshot angle when you're walking out CT just isn't really something you're too fussed about, as there are tons of different angles you also have to worry about while retaking, oftentimes allowing you to catch an easy kill and probably a round win in the process. The angle does have a major weakness in the form of connector, but as long as that's smoked or you know the last players are coming from CT, it's not something you should be all too worried about. Now these next two sort of go hand in hand, so I'm going to clump them together, but they are two separate things. The first one is the fact that you can see over default box and sometimes firebox from the jungle area. This is extremely useful on CT pistol rounds if the Ts decide to come to A, but can also be used in clutch situations to take out an unsuspecting opponent. After all, people playing default are rarely aware of this angle even existing, and the only real way they can deal with it is by staying crouched. Now the next thing, we are all creatures of habit, so we tend to like our bomb plans to be nice and neat. Well, most of us anyway. So default on both bomb site A and bomb site B are generally tucked in a corner. That being said, you can opt through the box at A site and stop a bomb plant there. It is kind of a weird position to be standing in, but hey, that's one less bomb planted. Also, a quick thing to note is that this can be done on bomb site B from window, but that is far more exposed than doing it from jungle on bomb site A. Once again, they are both sort of exposed positions to be standing in, but stopping a bomb plant with a well-placed op shot just might save you rounds. Alright, so we talked about stopping bomb plants by shooting through a box, but sometimes you don't have an op, and sometimes you aren't in jungle. Maybe you're smoked off behind ticket booth. So we know the enemy has control of the bomb site. We decide to regroup and set up for a retake. We've already covered timings in another video, and that will help with this. So check out that if you haven't seen it already. But back into it. We know how long it takes to get to the bomb site based on how the beginning of the round played out, how long it takes for someone to plant the bomb. Nothing insane here, just shoot through the smoke. Most of the time that's an easy kill, and you can get away without taking any damage. Like I said earlier, a lot of us are creatures of habit, so punish them for planting tucked into default. Now if they aren't completely tucked into the corner, congratulations. Not only have they just given you a larger target to shoot at, they've also probably exposed themselves to the stairs position, so if that's not smoked off, that's an easy kill. Alright, so another thing I have to mention about this, most of the time in the lower skill levels, and sometimes even in the higher skill levels, people can't smoke off ticket booth correctly. There's usually a gap in the bottom left of the smoke, allowing you to actually see onto the bomb site where the bomb is being planted. Use that to your advantage. That's free kills, 2, maybe even 3. Smokes are not walls, don't be afraid to shoot through them. Just remember, the enemy might shoot back. Now I know we are sick and tired of me talking about bomb site A, so this is the last thing I'm going to say about it. Bomb plant positions. Now I'm not going super crazy into detail about bomb plant positions. I might in a future video though. Wink wink. But for now, what you need to know is that each bomb position tells a story of how the round is going to play out. I know that if you're planning default on bomb site A, at a basic level you are going to be fighting me from Palace or generally close to CT, or you may be cheeky and hide in Firebox or under Palace, hoping I don't check it. Now default is called default generally because that's the safest place to get the bomb down, or just because it's the default place to plant the bomb on a site. This goes all the way back to when the map was designed, so if you don't like it, you'll have to fight the mappers. Fighting me won't do any good. Now along with default there's an optimal plant position. This position usually allows for the bomb to be defended from a number of different areas. Remember that story I was telling you about? Planting on the opposite side of default box, or as some players refer to it as, planting for ramp. This bomb plant position tells a much larger story. It could be close CT, ramp, Tetris, sandwich, jungle, connector, under Palace. Heck, I could even be playing inside Palace if I wanted to. A bomb like this with a massive story is far easier to defend than a bomb with a small story. So your next thought is probably, how am I going to plant for this? It's extremely exposed. Well, that is true, unfortunately. There are 2 things to remember when deciding what to plant for. What do I have time to plant for? Sometimes you have time to make it to triple to get the bomb down there. Sometimes someone is watching your CT and you can plant for something else and it works out. The second thing to remember is, can I defend it? If I'm planting a triple box for CT, 3 of my teammates push CT and die, I may have just cost us the round because I planted for something we can't defend. Now it's not intentional, but sometimes it happens, and the most often time I see it happen is when the bomb is planted default, and we don't have anyone on that side of the map to read that story, if you catch my drift. Anyway, to sum this all up, the best position to plant is for ramp, or the opposite of default box. Maybe even pushed out a bit further so you can easily see the bomb from Palace. I'm about to blow your mind right here. Get it? Counter-Strike is notorious for how deadly its bomb is when it goes off after a round, so generally we try to evacuate as quickly as possible if we aren't required to go down with a ship, so to say. Now on Inferno there's a cheeky little spot on the bomb set that will protect you from the explosion. Now, what if I told you there was a similar spot to that on bomb site B in Mirage? If you go into market and stand in the corner next to the produce holder at 100 HP in armor, you will survive a bomb blast even if it is planted in the empty pillar. So the next time you are stuck watching the bomb, you're full health, and you've saved your teammates op, run to this pillar, and if you have the HP, it just might save you from getting exit fragged. So we all know getting out of apartments is a nightmare. If the enemy doesn't molly it, we usually have too many angles to deal with, and can't get out regardless. So the next time you are trying to get out of apps, drop a smoke between the windows. This should block vision in both the windows, but allow you to see from the right side and see all the way up to van, usually giving you an easier time making it out of the apartments. Now just remember, like I said earlier, smokes aren't walls, so they may still shoot at you. Watch for bullets. Now this one isn't a Mirage exclusive, but Mirage is generally the biggest defender in this regard. Sounds. So there's a lot of things we can hear as players in CSGO, like footsteps, reloads, if you drop the bomb in apps, oh yeah, I went there. A lot of inexperienced players will make noise in the B side of apartments and give away that they're setting up for a B push, which there usually is. You can hear everything you're doing in there. So for instance, if you're dropping the bomb to a teammate and it hits the floor, he can hear that. And since I don't think we're swapping guns this late into the round, one quick, hey, these Coopers dropped the bomb in apps, and the round's practically over. That's the biggest one I see. The next biggest one I see is A site ramp. If you're leaving A site ramp for whatever reason and try to rotate out and the enemy is pushed top mid, they can hear everything you're doing once again. Be mindful of where the enemy can be and what sounds that you and your team are making. Oh, and one last thing, just hold on to the bomb. I learned long ago that nobody else can be trusted with a bomb, so I just take it, or I let them know to pass it to me. That alone could potentially save you rounds. What a different world we would live in if everyone fought to be the bomb carrier instead of fighting to get rid of it. Well, there they are, 10 tips to help you improve your game on Mirage. How were they? Things you didn't know? Things you already knew? Maybe I spooked you a little bit when I started talking about how the bomb site tells me stories at night. Whatever the case may be, let us know down in the comments section below. Remember to like and subscribe. Hitting that notification bell will help you stay up to date with all our new content here from the ProGuides team. And remember, if you want to take your game to the next level, head on over to ProGuides.com where you will have the ability to work with our expert coaches and get a personalized experience from them. They can help with a variety of things, aim, game sense, and even go over that crazy bomb plant storybook thing I was talking about earlier. Anyway, I wish you all the best of luck in your next matches, and I will see you guys very soon with more content. Have a great day.